Hello to the amazing people, TheNeomare here, and welcome back to the Eye, a huge space station in which this game called Citizen Sleeper is happening. It's been many cycles since I rogued away from the corporation that was... Oh, look at that. Is that ship flowing away? It sure is! I didn't know that actually happens. That's so cool. Anyhow... That's weird. The game's been running for a while now. How did that just happen? But anyhow, you can check out the full playlist in the comment description below the video. This game starts as a challenging, dice management game where you're struggling and trying to keep yourself fat and in good shape and surviving the challenges. And right now, it's a little bit easier. I'm rich. I'm probably one of the richest people on the station. It's time to go to sleep, and I'm gonna continue the adventure, which is episode 2 Flux right now, and dealing with the flotilla of refugee flotilla. Anyhow, let's go here, let's go feed the kitty cat, and we're gonna go to sleep and the cycle, and yeah, we'll see what's gonna be. It's a whole new mess out there. The flux, some kind of like a wave of something arrived and messed everything up, and the guns that Asha had stored are gone, and yeah, many things we're gonna need to like take care of. Right, but let's go have some food first. We're gonna visit Memphis stand here, who offers wonderful spiced fungus. And let's go across and see what's up. It seems like we don't have a time limit this time. Huzzah. I'm still probably not gonna do like my farm and stuff. So this is the flotilla, like this big ship here, and these and that. And anyway, we have 2 missions here. One of them is input 1 flux data from hacking, and the other one is helping people out. So I need 2 more dice here to become a friend. Like, I can risk it here with the interface action. For example, a 3 would give us a positive or neutral result, so that's pretty good. And there. And then we can go here and put a 5 in here into the flux node. This node flickers in and out, its position shifting slightly each time. It's almost like a quantum moon. Extract data. 1 flux data, okay. Flickering shifting fragment needs to be carefully decoded. I guess we're gonna be decoding that thing now. Not sure if it's smart to like go here with only 3 very small dice, but hey. Pick ASCII to help them extract data from a node in the vase, one that appeared after the recent flux event. Pick receives the data on their slate and begins work decoding it immediately. Zipper, come look at this. Peak is poring over one of the displays of the makeshift decoding suit they have set up in the Climbing Briar's cargo bay. Climbing Briar is the little shuttle that they use to fly around. On the screen, a clump of data pathways like an ingrown root ball has started to untangle. This is an existing node, corrupted by the flux event. It's totally twisted up. They glance at you to check you're listening. But inside, you watch as the unwinding pathways leave behind patterns of negative spaces, like shadows staying behind the spider caster leaving. It's a whole other data set. Pig's eyes shine bright in the pale screen light. The flux event somehow seeds this data deep into the gaps in the node, wrapping them around it. Why? Buck pauses. Pig pauses. Buck. I have no idea. You watch the screen and the pattern of shadows become obvious now as each layer of pathways is pulled away. The flux event itself really did a number of unprotected nodes like this one. Most of the ice systems are screened against radiation interference, but these exposed nodes? Peak makes a ripping motion with their hands. Torn apart. Peak points to a thick tangle of threads on the screen. Look here. It looks like it's been tangled purposefully, but it's actually that all the points within the node have been randomly rearranged. It's as if the node was a bag of ball bearings and the flux shook them. The pathways tried to account for the rearrangement once the system came back on, hence the tangle. Pig pauses as the node continues to unwind. Although, Pig muses, it was less than shaking a bag of ball bearings and more like making them all simultaneously occupy a superposition of every possible position in the bag before locking them back into a new configuration. They smile sheepishly. But that's a technicality. So what's in the flux? We know it's a wave, one with exotic effects, that's all. Pig runs a hand through their hair. The question is not so much what flux is, but what is causing it. Where is it coming from? Pig turns away from the screen, meeting your eye. And there's something else. They pause. Have you spoken with the refugees? A little. Pig lowers their voice instinctively. What they're reporting? Massive systems failures, cascading collapses of life support, of terraforming systems, total data corruption. Pig swallows. The flux shouldn't do that. It can fundamentally rearrange the structure of systems, especially those poorly shielded, but totally collapsing heavy-duty industrial systems, fail-safes and all, that doesn't make sense. Those kind of systems are built for deep space, for solar flares and radiation. The flux might penetrate them, but any reconfiguration should have been repairable. Pig looks back at the screen, where the decoding node lies almost fully open. A shadow pattern of the negative spaces that existed within scrambled interior darkness the screen, like a set of bruises showing the pattern of the object that made them. I need to look into something. I have an idea what might be causing this wave, triggering the flux, but I need time to research it. Can I help? Pig shakes their head. I'm sorry, Sleeper, but I want to keep this to myself for now. If you need... Alright, keep your secrets. If you need something to do, the flotilla could surely do with the help. From what I heard from Ash, things are tense there. Where's Ash? Pig glances around the bay. Must be out. I've been focusing on this, so I can't say I've noticed, although the quiet is nice. They smile. Give me some time, Sleeper. Pig turns back to their console. I'll have some answers soon enough, I hope. You take one last glance at the uncoiling node as you leave. The dark shapes it leaves behind somehow troubling. You try to shake them from your mind. There are things to be done elsewhere. So yeah, all havoc broke loose. Okay. Pig's progress. Pig is researching something to do with the flux event and seems totally absorbed. They'll let you know when they're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of downtime. Okay. Well, let's find something to get us busy. I'm gonna help the flotilla here. There you go. I am now flotilla's friend, shifting ship systems and societal structures. The only way to navigate the flotilla is by rolling up your sleeves and helping out. Well, pragmatic captain, so. Someone told me I should be thanking you. The voice comes from behind you, cutting through the chaos of crowded cavernous bay. You freeze. Don't be afraid now. I've been hunting you. Sure, but for all the best reasons. You turn to see bright eyes set in a rough face framed in rusted metal. So, he holds out his hand, the other clamped firmly around a knotted wooden cane. Shake his hand. He grips you firmly with a heavy and calloused hand. Forgive me. As soon as I saw you, I knew who you were. Sol puts a hand on your shoulder. I've been told a Sleeper was part of that supply run that came in several cycles ago. He nods. A very welcome act, and we all thank you for it. Walk with me, Sleeper. Sol sets off through the bay. His partial suit hissing and creaking as it helps carry him through the busy crowd. You notice people making way for you and Sol, standing back and letting you pass. You pass a makeshift kitchen, steaming pots on heating elements, a restless queue collecting meals. That algae that came through isn't exactly a full meal, but with what we have here, we've been able to make it work. You see a ladle of a greenish stew dished out. The color is something, isn't it? Sol smiles. Sol leads you out of the larger bay into a corridor lined with storage rooms that are now serving as dorms. You see someone filling a metal container from a standpipe, the water gushing out readily. Sol nods to the person as he passes. Look, dude, algae is healthy for you. Japanese who eat a lot of algae, I think they do anyway. Or seaweed, I don't know what they eat. I know they eat those green things that they wrap their sushis into. Anyhow, they are long living people, so eat your algae and you're gonna get to live many souls, Sol. Anyway, Sol nods to the person as he passes. Just a little further now. Sol leads you into a freight elevator and whistles to some unseen operator to start it up. It jerks into life, and as you pass through the layers of the ship, you see people on every level, supplies crammed into every available space, and sparks leaping in bursts as the ship is reshaped and modified to sustain its population. If Heavenage were expecting an exodus from the flotilla, the flux event has put a stop to that. Sol stretches. Some have crossed to the eye, but many just to gather salvage or score a hot meal. So the pressure on our supplies is shrinking, but not like I'd hoped. With the flux reaching all the way out here, people are starting to understand that our journey might not be over. Sol stares grimly ahead. Suddenly the freight elevator screeches to a halt, and Sol leads you slowly out into a wild room of chairs and terminals, ringed by a mezzanine and with a glass roof above showing the distant hub and the far curve of the eye beyond. The people at the terminals nod to him as he enters. This is your ship? Sol nods. That's right. The pilgrim seat is mine to take care of. He leads you to a railed platform at the center of the room and stops. She chose me, so to speak. Well, at least her crew did, and I do my best to serve them. Sol looks around the bridge of the ship, a pained expression on his face. I'll admit that the responsibility isn't one that suits me, though we rarely get to choose such things. He glances back at you. But you, Sleeper, from what I understand, you chose to try to help us here. Is that right? I did my best. Sol nods silently. But I have to ask you, Sleeper, why are you here now? Sol leans back and you feel his eyes on you, assessing you. I still wanna help. I mean, yeah, sure, the flux event and blah blah, but look, I play this game trying to help as many people as possible, I guess. I still wanna help. Sol nods. I've got to be honest with you, Sleeper. I'm not quite buying it. He smiles. I'm not trying to make judgments on your character, but in my experience, people do things for more reasons than just being helpful. Dude. I have thousands of people here on the pilgrim seat, Sleeper, and there's thousands more out in the flotilla. He leans against the railing. A lot of them are looking to me to provide some future for them, some path out of this dead end we've got into. Dead end. Well, you're a pragmatic person, you're gonna accept my help even if you don't buy it. And this cycle, this very cycle, the things we've been running away from, it just caught up with us. Well, it was actually yesterday, but okay. So these people are scared, Sleeper, and they are looking for me for reassurance. And then, on the same cycle, someone tells me they see you on board, a Sleeper. The same Sleeper, they reckon, that wanted so strongly to send a ship past the cordon to see us. Sol scratches at his beard. So the first thing I wanted to do was thank you for that, for your interest. He pauses. But the second thing I wanted to do was find out what you want from us. Sol's suit hisses and creaks. I think that's fair, don't you? Sol takes a deep breath. So what is it? Okay. I mean, I am curious about Flux and Ember as well. Let's ask about Ember. Someone at the terminal calls out to Sol and he shouts some orders back. He turns to you. Apologies. He smiles, that half smile. I'll tell you what, Sleeper. Let's you and me make a deal. You want information? I understand that. But I have a list of needs longer than the rim of the eye itself. He grimaces. So you do some things for me, and then we can talk about what's been happening in the system. And I will answer all your questions and then some. I may be the captain of the Pilgrim Seat, and she's certainly the biggest ship in this flotilla, but I'm not the only captain here. We have ships here from each of the moons. We're from Ember's Heart. Timber's Heart, Ember's Heart. But there's others from Ember's Song and even Ember's Step. The moons have been at each other's throats, Sleeper. What with the pressure of the flux, the bad blood from the old days. Sol leans in. We aren't exactly all in alignment. What I need is a way to stop this escalating. For the crews on these ships and their captains to feel happy and comfortable enough to forget old rivalries and past crimes. He flinches at something. Those from the Amber Step, well, they've always been proud, but that pride seems to be a barrier to compromise right now. The last set of supplies I sent their way, they refused. Meanwhile, I have a supply shuttle the docking axis of the Amber Song ships gather at, but they have taken far too many cycles to unload. Maybe if you're heading that way, you can look in on them. I am no politician, Sleeper. But if I don't... Sol stops. He leans back and flexes, his suit screeching. He groans a little, and you see the weight of the flotilla sitting on his shoulders. The suit, the only thing keeping him vertical beneath all that pressure. Sometimes I feel like the world's on my shoulders. Look, you'll see yourself if you go. Meet the other Sleeper. See what they need. Keep them aligned. He speaks through the pain, his voice clipped. I understand. I hope. Salt grits his teeth. You are what you appear to be, Sleeper. Help us, Sleeper. You're our only hope. You are our only hope. He smiles his half smile despite the pain. Because I'm not sure I can take any more bad news. Plus, there's plenty to be done here in the Pilgrim City too. If you have a moment to pitch in, there's never enough around here. That's something I have learned the hard way. Sol settles onto his cane, the pain visibly receding. Alright, I have 1,000 things to attend to now, Sleeper, so you'll have to find your own way out. And with that, Sol sits at his terminal with slow and careful movements. You head back down into the freight elevator, and as you do, you see again the layers and layers of chaotic life this vessel and all the vessels of the flotilla hold. Right, new drive discovered, a new mission. Flotilla support. Sol is asking you to help bring stability to the ships from Amber's Heart, Song and Step within the flotilla. So we get some ships here that, well, will need some help. What's this? Perk, productive reasoning, unfinished business. Unload supplies. Sol shipment of supplies sits partially unloaded, the crew absent. If you want this to help, the best way would be to finish the job. Unfinished business. The more you offload supplies into the docking bay, the more attention your efforts seem to be gaining. Okay. And then we have this thing. Aki, Amber's Step refugee. Oh, are those the stubborn people? I think so. It's a strange sight, given your time spent in the Greenway, to see a greenhouse choked in red dust. It piles up along edges, gathers in curving waves, and is carried by some unseen wind to whirl in front of the glass ceiling. It is a desert in miniature, a captured landscape of iron-rich sediment and unseen life. Beautiful, isn't it? The remark comes from another figure standing at the viewing window, so quietly that you hadn't noticed them. Did they just arrive, or were they here before you were? Their clothes swaddled form reveals a little. It is. They say nothing. You catch a glimpse of a pale face among the thick material, dark eyes glittering in the red reflected light. Aki. Guarded Amber Step refugee. They turn to you as the dust swirls. Aki. They smile a tight smile. You're not from the flotilla, am I right? I live on the eye. But that is not where you're from. She stares into the greenhouse. Everyone's from somewhere, whatever they wish to or not. The red dust glitters in her eyes. Whatever it is, good place to be from or not. Well, wise words, Aki, wise words. Well, I'm from the eye now. I left my past behind me. Aki gathers her cloak around her shoulders against the cold. What brings you to the wind's long shadow? Wind's long shadow? This ship. Aki looks at you curiously. Do you often wander around ships you don't know the name of? Yeah, actually I do. You're a strange one. Aki raises an eyebrow. I'd know better to report you or send you back to where you came from. She smiles to herself. Which is nowhere at all. You glance around the empty corridor, suddenly aware of how quiet it is on the ship. Unlike the other ships you have been on the flotilla, there is a silent order to the wind's long shadow, and in this moment it feels unsettling. Where is everyone? Aki waves a hand. Asleep, mostly. It is night on Step, and so it is night here. She rubs her shoulders, at least for those of us who can sleep. Yeah, so basically they're still aligned with the day and night cycles of the moon they are from, called Step. I know what Step is. Stay silent. Aki lets the silence sit, and you hear the wind and dust scratching at the viewing window. You hear a creak as a set of shutters slowly begin to close across the glass ceiling of the greenhouse. As you watch, you feel the dissonance this place has with that word. There is nothing green here. A dust house, perhaps. It takes many systems to preserve this landscape, Aki begins. To simulate the wind, cycle the dust, layer the sand and dirt beneath. You watch the dust swirling. Systems that are failing. The flux event, Aki glances at you for a sign of recognition of this term, is eroding our ability to keep this place alive. To keep these traces of Step alive. She smiles to herself. Which is ironic, because when we left Step, the flux had eroded our ability to survive on the moon. Now the situation is reversed. Away from the moon, its ecosystems are as fragile as we were, living upon it. Something catches your eye as the shutters darken the dust house. The winds picking away at the dunes begin to reveal something. A web, a network of thick branching forms, and then they close completely, and you see nothing in the dark. Soft blue lights flicker on in the corridor, uplighting Aki in the cold cyan. You have piqued my curiosity, but I'm so tired. Aki shivers. If you do not have a purpose here on the ship, I recommend finding one. Otherwise, I'm afraid you'll need to leave. I'll help you out. Make yourself useful, and perhaps we will get another chance to talk. She turns. I would like that. With that, Aki pads away along the corridor. You stand for a moment in front of the dark dust house, trying to imagine the network of roots under the sand and dust, and then trying to imagine the moon that once housed them. Well, it's a hard thing being far away from home. Pilgrim Seed. Okay, let's see what mission do we have here now. Systems repair. The crew won't let you into the dust houses, but there are plenty of supporting systems that could do with some love and care. Make yourself useful. Aki warned you that if you wanted to learn more about the Wind's Long Shadow, you'll need to prove your usefulness. So this ship is called Wind's Long Shadow. What a long and complicated name for a ship. Pilgrim Seed. Pilgrim Seed supply. Food is an issue on the Pilgrim Seed, even with agriculture on board. A supply of matsutake will help fill the gap. Pilgrim Seed support. Even Soul's own ship requires help, but figuring out what jobs need doing first and who to help is a challenge. Step, Song and Heart. Stability in the flotilla means relieving the pressure on the refugees from all 3 moons of Ember. Heart survival. Whether Ash got her supplies through the cordon or not, Pilgrim Seed and the Heart refugees only desperately need help. Right. Well, what is this? Is this Matsutake caps? Pungent rich mushrooms, a rare delicacy on the eye. There you go. I give you my rare delicacy. It comes straight from my heart. And what's this? Step, Song and Heart. Stability in the flotilla means relieving the pressure on the refugees from all 3 moons of Ember. Oh, I see. So my mission right now is it's helping this place, and well, helping that place. I can also use dice to help them out, but I think it's way simpler to just use some mushrooms. Mushroom. Mushroom. I said I'm the richest person on the eye, I didn't lie. I worked hard for all of these, so I can be helpful now. There you go. Some more mushrooms. Better than allergy, probably. Sol finds you deep in the layers of the pilgrim seed, working on a patch for a life support vent. You hear him coming, his suit's hissing as he does. I had to ask around to find you. He smiles. Seems you know the place better than me these days. Dude, we just talked like a few hours ago. Doubt it? Sol nods. I was in the work crew that built this thing, so maybe you're right, he winks. Sol holds out a hand. Stand up and let me see you. He pulls you to your feet. I don't believe we ever had a sleeper on Amber's heart. Sol looks you up and down. You sure don't make me wish we had. Could have done with a few workers as good as you. Thank you. Sol nods. You're welcome. Seems like I owe you some answers, seeing as you've been working hard on the pilgrim seed these past cycles. He leans against a crate, his suit creaking. What do you want to know about? Amber's tell me some stuff about yourself first. Sol squints at you. You want to know about me? I'm not sure that was part of the deal I was thinking of, Sleeper. Unless you're asking about this. He raps on the metal of his suit. In case you haven't guessed, this is the only thing keeping me vertical. He adjusts a shoulder piece. It's a lifter suit, made for working the fields. We had to modify it so I could walk around after the accident. And that's all I'm saying, Sleeper, because to be honest with you, I don't owe you more than that. You want to know about the flux? About Amber's heart? Go ahead. But don't pry into my life. And I won't pry into yours. Fair enough? I just wanted to be friendly, dude. So lets the silent sit, staring hard at the floor. The suit seems to loom over him, looking more like a burden than a support. With the bars around his head, you suddenly start to think of it as a cage. Well, I know how that feels. Look, I don't mean to be rude. Let's leave it there. There's too many eyes on me on this ship as it is. I'd rather just slip into the background. Thank you very much. Sol shifts on the crate. Anything else you wanted to ask? There was something. Amber's heart. Sol nods. What do you want to know about? Amber's heart. Sure, he smiles. I mean, I spent my whole life on that rock, so I have plenty to tell. I'll save my life story for another time. I tried asking about it and I didn't get it. He winks. But the short of it is that Heart is the first of Amber's moons. The biggest and the most populated, which is down to the successful terraforming systems Cybele set up when the Solheim owned the system. Terraforming. That's right. Amber's Step was the first try, but that failed. Heart was when they perfected their system. However, Sol holds up a hand. Despite what people might say, Heart was never fully stable. Sol shakes his head. Cybele liked to talk it up, but after they pulled out and Solheim left, our people discovered they'd have to keep the systems running themselves, or the place would soon end up as dry as Steppe. Heart was good as long as the evaporators kept running, kept filling our skies with clouds. Even after the collapse, our people kept those things going, turning that subsurface ocean into a periwinkle blue sky. Sol smiles. Flux ended that though, and when they failed, the rains failed, and the harvest with it. Sol pauses. And soon, you have a city without a way to feed itself. Sol shudders. That's when some of us made a decision to set out on this place. He gestures at the pilgrim's seed, and look for another future. Sol shifts on the crate. Anything else you wanted to ask? Well, there was something. What do you want to know about? Well, the flux. Sol sighs. That's what I imagined. He scratches at his beard. I can't say I'm an expert, but I can tell you what we witnessed on Heart. At first we ignored it. A few farms had their automation systems blink out, leave their suits locked up. Bots reset their schedules, nothing we hadn't seen before. But then the news came out of Passerau that they had been hit hard. The local network had gone down and no one could get it back up. It was rough for a while, but out in the farmland we were used to that. Passerau? Capital of the Heart. Tens of thousands of souls made it their home. Soul grimaces. Anyway, we thought the flux was a freak event until the day they got the network running again. That's when the cascade happened. System after system corrupted, data lost. And then another flux hit, and another. The bots were running circles in the fields. People had to be cut out of lifter suits like mine. And the city, I never saw it. But I heard from the others. Soul shivers. It only got worse from there. We couldn't seem to fight it. It cut us right open. That's what I know about the flux. Some folks say it came from the inner system, that it might be connected to some old tech there or something, but I never heard anything more than rumors. Soul scratches their beard. Sorry, I don't have better news. Soul shifts on the crate. Anything else you wanted to ask? Soul nods. What do you want to know about? Something buzzes on Soul's suit. Well, there's nothing more to tell me about, but he glances at it and frowns. Looks like time's up, Sleeper. Soul stands flexing against the suit. He takes his cane on his hand. Keep it up, Sleeper. He smiles as he leaves. You're making me think I need to start making new plans for this place. With that, Soul leaves, and you wonder what he means. As he creaks away down the corridor, you can't help but feel there's more to him than it seems. Pilgrim Seed. So here we can see Step Song and Heart, so we help the heart out. Stability in Flotilla means relieving the pressure on the refugees from all 3 moons of Ember. So now only Step and Song are left. So this is Step, Ember Step Facility, and this is a Song Hub. Here we need to unload some supplies, and here we need to help them with the systems repair. Okay, we're gonna lose some energy if we fail this one, so I'm gonna do that. Let's see, make myself useful. We'll try. I'm a little bit tired and my dice are not as they used to be. Oh, positive outcome. Well, we rolled really good there. I'm gonna help this one a little bit as well. This one's a little bit more dangerous, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't say here what are the negative things if I fail. But we have a 5, so it's gonna be 100% positive. There we go. I feel ozone in the air. Anyway. I wonder, is the storm coming? I don't usually smell these kind of things. Okay. But anyhow, that's gonna be it for this episode. A lot of story, only one cycle, but that's okay. I'm gonna continue in the next episode. I hope I can get an episode in every 3-4 days or so, hopefully. Yeah, I'm gonna feed some kitty cats here. There we go. And then the only thing left to do is actually to go and end the cycle. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and all that good stuff. I wish you all to have a wonderful day. Do some nice things. Be kind to each other. And let's make the world a better place together. Thank you all for watching. And I will see you on the next episode of Citizen Sleeper. TheNeomare signing out. Bye bye.